well, this is Bart the Bicycle Rider in my van, in the adventure van with the mountain bikes loaded on the back. It is March 18th, so it's a Tuesday, and I'm on the way to Bentonville, Arkansas. Bentonville, Arkansas calls himself the mountain bike capital of the world. That's an awesome title, and I'm going to test it out. Of course, there's a lot of awesome places to ride mountain bikes. Now, for years, I've been hearing about Bentonville. I've helped a lot of people get up to Bentonville when I owned the bike shop. I turned down a lot of trips to Bentonville because it's a 10-hour drive away. 10 hours is hard to be away from a bike shop. So now that I don't have that responsibility, I've got an invite to go ride Bentonville with a lifetime friend, someone that I've ridden with for years. They're actually at a cross-country race today, and he said it brought back so many memories of us, you know, racing cross-country like we did back in the day. So I'm looking forward to riding some of that with my friend Rob. He's a big kiteboarder. He gets to go kiteboarding all over the world now, but still loves to mountain bike. You know, mountain biking was never his first sport. You know, Rob was always into some super cool things, but we met in Sarasota, Florida, and started doing a lot of riding and raced all over the place together. And Rob's always just had fun with it. Very competitive, but had fun with it. I took it a little bit more serious, and gosh, I don't think I've ever stopped. Well, you know, when I had the bike shop, I had to stop racing mountain bikes just because I couldn't get out of the shop. So not that I stopped, but I couldn't do the Gulf South series like I wanted to, because it is a time and money commitment. And during the mountain bike series is when I was having to work on bikes to make that money. So just remember that if you open up a bike shop, sometimes it cuts into your riding. But I'm back. I've got a cross-country bike and a trail bike on the back of my van, and I'm looking forward to doing a little bit of both. Of course, at 56 years old, I've hit the ground so many times. It used to be that if there was a big gap or a big jump, I'd be the first guy to do it. Well, the jumps and the gaps have gotten so big, and everything's so lippy. You know, back when I was doing a lot of jumping, it was a lot of natural features. Nowadays, it's man-made features, and you've got to get used to launching and then kind of landing at a decline. And back when I was doing a lot of jumping, if you landed in an incline, we called it an endo, and you'd crash. Now you got to get used to the flow of this stuff. So jumping is something that I've done for a lifetime. There's some big jumps there that people are you going to do that? Well, that's not my goal. My goal is to go have a good weekend and not get hurt. Speaking of getting hurt, I'm looking at some different bicycle insurance, velo insurance, spot insurance, one called Sunday. So it's a supplemental insurances to go along with your medical insurance. And as things are tight for me right now, my medical insurance is one of my biggest costs I have, just trying to use my medical insurance. So I'm going to be looking into some of those. If anybody in the comments uses any of those insurances, let me know. I sent a couple emails out to the representatives, but they're not getting back to me. So I'm just going to try to get a policy on my own to supplement myself. But my goal is to not get hurt. The older I get, the more I really like cross-country flow. And I'm a veteran mountain biker, so I'm not always worried about what color trail I'm doing. Did you do the hardest trails? I've got a history of doing all the hardest trails. I kind of like the easy trails and doing them fast. I like the flow of the cross country, you know, getting my wheels off the ground a little bit, but not, you know, I'm not worried about jumping a road 20 feet. Now, I think it's cool. Believe me, I love to watch it, but that's not my main goal. And it seems like, you know, Bentonville is kind of a mountain bike park that's made for obstacles and that type of situation. Hey, I'm driving at the same time, so excuse me. Sometimes you got to keep your eyes on the road. But I'm just happy to be out on the road. Now 10 hours is a long time for me to drive, and at this time, I mean, we've got a war going on and gas is going up, and I complain about being low on money. So this is really hitting my pocketbook. I'm driving a lot slower than I normally would drive, trying to save gas money. Speaking of money, I don't really have to get back to the Gulf Coast for anything in particular. I am a ambassador for a charity road ride in a couple weeks, and but that's not something I have to get back to. If I've got a chance to be in Bentonville and earn a few bucks, either bike shop life, social media influencer, guide, coach, house sitting. I could house sit someone's house. A lot of people don't know. I mean, because I like to party and have a good time, but I've been practicing for years to pass a drug test, and I don't drink. So if anybody's got a house in Bentonville, they need some work done too, or just need someone to wash their house, I'm very responsible. I'm easy to find. I'm on social media all over the place, and your liquor cabinet's safe with me. And you don't have to worry about me, burning up your couch with ashes, because I'm square. I party in my head, but I'm square. So that's a fact of me, Bart Luther, that I gave up drinking and recreational drugs years and years and years ago. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, but for people looking at maybe hiring me, I'm an easy hire. I can even do a 1099, so you don't have to put me on the books. I can worry about my own taxes. Anyway, just throwing that out there. So I might be able to stay in Bentonville for longer if I can find some employment, because I really want to check out the bicycle culture. I want to talk to the citizens and meet people who live there, and meet people who have timeshares there and get to go spend some time that share themselves. I want to meet visitors and people spending money in Bentonville on outdoor recreation. I want to meet business owners and city officials, and I really want to go back to my home state of Mississippi with a lot of good ideas to help with outdoor recreation. One, as a money generator for the state of Mississippi. You might have seen some videos lately. We've got a lot of cool area, but we keep getting told we can't put any more trails, and I do realize it's national forest, and there's ecology issues. I know there's something with the woodpeckers. I'm a fan of the woodpeckers, but when you're, it all sounds good on paper, but when you go out there on a regular basis and you see what the trails look like when they rip out all the trees, and I'm not saying don't rip out the trees, but I'm just saying that compared to some small hand tools or maybe a small machine to go in and build trails that people would pay to come to and help our economy, Mississippi can make money both ways. One, still sell the timber. I'm not saying don't do that, but there's a whole rest of the year when we could still be making money off the trees with trail fees if we just did some improvement with campground fees. It's a touchy issue with the homeless and stuff, but right now our mountain bike trailhead is like a homeless camp, and I hate to say it, but I do see drugs. Not everybody, but I see things going on there that is not family friendly and shouldn't be a part of our national forest, and the forest rangers need to clean that part of it out. So camping's great. Right now you can free camp there, and I think that's the problem. Let's improve the campground, charge some money, and make sure that the people are the people that are good stewards to the environment, not people cooking meth or and I know that's what some people are doing out there, and it gives our mountain bike trail a bad name. So many things in this video as I'm driving. I'm on like my 8th hour of driving, so I'm rambling, but I'm gonna do a lot of video while I'm up in Bentonville, so stick with me. I'm gonna kind of shut this video down for now, but this is an update on March 18th. Bart the Bicycle Rider on his way to Bentonville to thoroughly enjoy a few days of mountain biking, hooking up with some old friends, and really like to try to find some employment or a way for me to stick around Bentonville for a little bit. I've got to go to July, and in July to the Tour de France in France. So from now till July, I don't have a whole lot of commitments, and I'd like to hang out in Bentonville. If anybody's got any ideas that help me make that happen, let me know. Bart Bicycle Rider YouTube, over and out for now. Thanks for sticking with me.